Yes, good evening, comrades. Good afternoon. Good morning. Welcome to the night shift space. Sorry for the inconveniences. I've tried to set up the space more than 3 times as it has been crashing, and I had to uninstall my WhatsApp, my Twitter. But it goes back to the challenge that I'm facing. But nevertheless, here we are. I'm hoping that we'll be able to continue. Dr. James, you're welcome. Thank you. I saw you in the Kenyan space, and great to see you there. Dark Matter as well, you're welcome. Comrades, I welcome you to the night shift space. I don't know, but I hope the little measures I've tried to do in fighting to keep the space going will be able to help. Regardless, we are here to push on forward, to keep on trying, to keep on doing whatever we can. And so sorry about the inconveniences. I know so many of you have received the invites, and then you realize the space has crashed. Yes, it's because of my gadget is weak. I have to confess, it's weak. I'm using a 2 GB RAM gadget, you can imagine. And that's an Oppo phone. So it's too weak, it's vulnerable to any malwares, any disturbances. But regardless, I try to use my best of the best to try to push on forward. So thank you. Let's keep sharing the space. Let's keep inviting more of our comrades to join in. I've uninstalled my Twitter, and then I hope we'll be able to sustain it for some period of time. Dr. James and Dark Matter, you're welcome. For now, forgive me for that. I'm having cough and flu as well. That's another issue disturbing me, but we are here to carry on with the cause. Welcome once again aboard. Welcome. Let's keep sharing the space, and let's keep inviting more people. I hope the small little measures I've done can be able to sustain for some good time. Thank you. Welcome to the night shift space. The mission is Mission2026. And the hashtag is Museveni must go. Somebody would ask, why do you people insist on Museveni must go? We insist on Museveni must go because he's the epitome of the problems in the region, not only in Uganda, but in the East African and the Great Lakes region. Museveni and Kagame are the biggest problem. He has spread his dictatorship, even in the neighboring Kenya. William Samoei Ruto, today in Kenya, if you've noticed, if you go on the page of the former DP, Rigathi Gachagua, of the violence that was exhibited on the people by the CS Minister of Interior, Kipchumba Murkomen, who replaced the now current DP president, the deputy president, Professor, I'm trying to forget his name, who was always Ruto's favorite. So you realize that the dictatorship in Uganda has spread across the region. And and us in Uganda, we must do the biggest role to dismantle it. Sorry about that. We must do the biggest role to dismantle this disease that is spreading across the region, the dictatorship. And therefore, we have the biggest job to do in Uganda. The problem in Uganda is that our elites, the elites, are in a different world. In Uganda, people have been normalized to think that earning a salary of 3 million shillings per month and driving a Subaru and sleeping in one of the apartments around Kampala, either in Chanja, whether in Nigeria, whether in Naguru or what, is the best of the lives. And people forget the realities that are eating up our society. And that is the problem with our elites. Because to them, that is the life they envision themselves with. Okay, 3 million Ugandan shillings. What's that in terms of dollars? That's like $1,000. $1,000. That's what some people in the US make probably a week, the minimum. But in Uganda, it has been made normal for our elites to think that there you're a class above the ordinary. That you don't need to care about the realities happening on the ground. You don't need to care about rising up to end dictatorship, to end this madness, the high taxes, and the corruption and everything. People live in comfort because to them, life is okay. So with that and a few more is what we'll delve into today's night shift. I hope that I can be able to carry on with the space. Having done the small little measures I can do on my side, let's invite more of our comrades to join in. I welcome you all once again to the night shift space. Thank you. Yes, once again, I welcome you, comrades. For those listening in the background, in anonymous, welcome to the night shift space. And like I said, the mission is 2026. The ultimate goal is Museveni must go. That is what we are supposed to strive every day for. Adding a brick to whatever cause we are doing. And therefore, every effort matters. And as the night shift, we've tried to also keep that effort going. But of course, lately we're being disturbed by hackers. Of course, we know that the regime is not seated. But even us, we are not seated, and we will not relent. And therefore, with persistence and continuity, we are still here. And therefore, we must continue to exercise our constitutional right of demanding for good and ending of bad. And the Constitution states it clearly that where need be to fight for the Constitution, once you realize that it's being sabotaged, one is allowed to even protest or to even take up arms. Yes, in order to protect the Constitution. And therefore, in Uganda, the Constitution has been subverted by the dictator so many times. And today I saw the article of the Daily Monitor, the headline that fake opposition for the last period of 25 years the leader. He just has to let you know that, you know what? We are standing on the right course of history. We just must not give up. We must continue with our resilience. We're a few months away to the next year's elections. And I can tell you, comrades, this is where we need to keep running spaces day in, day out. Well, but because we have sleeper cells, but because the regime has invested a lot, it's only a few that can manage to try to continue with the mantle. I hope that our resilience will pay off. I hope that we continue no matter what. Let's share the space. Let's invite more people. Dr. James, can you hear me? Because it looks like you've written in the comment section that you can't hear me. Can you hear me? You can just give me a thumb up if I'm still on. I need to know if I'm still on. Dark Matter, am I still on? Can anyone hear me? I just need to know, guys, if I'm still on. Please, just give me a thumb up if I'm still on. If you can hear me, just give me a thumb up. I need you to give me a thumb up. Crystal, can you hear me? Okay, I guess the space is still safe now. If you can hear me, then that's good. Thank you. Welcome to the space. Welcome aboard. We are here to continue. Regardless, we'll continue pushing. The space has crashed more than 5 times today, actually more than 4 times, but we are here to push and carry on with the mantle. The hashtag is Museveni must go. The hashtag is the mission is 2026. So with that, let me allow you comrades to invite more comrades to join on board before we kickstart off. And we continue with the liberation, with the message to our people on the ground. Thank you. Well, since I got the notification that I'm being heard, today I want to highlight on something that, comrades, this revolution is going to reveal a lot. I was listening yesterday to Council Nicholas Opio, and the way he was articulating issues on NUP and saying how, you see, the president, he has not lost touch with his comrades in the music, they have great influence. And my question is, why now? You see, when such people of prominence that we've been really respecting for this a very long time come out and then they start saying that, you know what, you see, NUP now has no democracy, NUP has no this, then you're seeing Justice Hunt at the other side also being the same, at the same time pretending to be part of us, then you start to understand the sleeper cells that we've been having amongst the opposition in the struggle. At the moment when Chagulanyi wakwatidde manto, that is when these people come out now. All guns. You see here, you've done wrong. You see here, you've not done enough. Then you just understand how the dictator has been operating. The dictator has been using people you thought were of your very own. I'm not ashamed. I'm not even scared to say this. The manner in which I saw Councillor Nicholas Opio come out and trying to blaze guns on NUP and saying, you see, there's no internal democracy. And then he's trying to say that, my brother Bobby Wine, blah, blah. You see, his musical friends have great influence. Then you start to understand the writer code. In IT, there is something called coding. You understand, you interpret codes in order to get a certain message that you want to be generated. Kati, wanotegera kodi wanozibayisao. Inti, these guys operate like they're part of you, yet when they see you hit harder, then they come out on you. The dictator has been operating like that. And this is why, this period where we are heading in, comrades, do not be shocked when those even you thought were closest to the struggle start coming out all blazes. Do not be shocked. But like we said, the mission is we must continue fighting. We must continue pushing the cause forward. This is about the liberation. This is about our country. Sellouts are so many, and they're going to come out, very many of them. Ours is to continue pushing forward. Are close to him, even his relatives. Nati wenda wangasaidi je bachikubira kimenya struggle. Nese kamunenga nasi pasels zatu etolola. Mbira onenyuma n'emikwano gyange ngabana abantu batu etolola. No wonder the dictator has been able to continue for all this while. And this is why I keep telling people, be keen. Sibuli yekubya akafaananyi nti ali mu struggle. Bannange mujja kutomera nnyo. Ate wano wetugenda. Oba tuwakozesa ku magezi amazaale, kale kozesa ku magezi ag'omu kibiina. Because most of our people are falling victims because of that, not using the sense of reasoning. People are excited with people because of public figure. Akuba gundi munene namna gani? Akuba gundi amanyikidwa mu ki? Abo basinza okutunda eggwanga. abamu bwe tubalengerere wano ne twesikamu bwe tusoma syndicate abantu abo gwe bazannya n'okwata ne ku mutwe n'oga zizo slippers zetwogerako, zizo green snakes in the green grass zetwogerako. At the time when we would expect people to unite together, then people start coming. Hey, luma. Emundu buli omu agitunuza wa Robert Kyagulanyi. Kale, is Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu an angel? No, of course he's not. Why is it that every one of you, you're trying to point guns at him like he's an angel, like he has been here for 20 years? This is a guy who's barely even 6 years old in the political landscape. But everyone comes out. Ego, pride, futa, undermining of like, yeah. And these are the same people who have derailed the Uganda's liberation. Now, for some of us who are this people, when we see them come out, all guns and blaze, yes, there might be internal issues within the party. They are there. Of course, yes, we know it. Nowhere to raise them from. But when you see people who are coming out on public forums to indirectly attack what the dictator is open, seeing all these things about a dictator, that is reverse psychology. So here where we are going, and this is why we emphasize, we need these spaces to keep running every day. Because we've really honestly called out what happened. Why is it that ex of the Stella Nyanza batekayo awo abalabe bonna bavaayo emisinde kyokka Stella Nyanza avaayo ayokya awo buli omu avaayo n'abeerako. Why is it that when it comes to pushing the cause, during everything is silent, and then that is when the propagandists of the regime use that platform to carry on with their message, and yet we keep saying that, you know what, let's not give room to propagandists to go on. The issue is about dominating here. But we are not on the night shift space because we are the best speakers. We're on the night shift space because every one of us here has a role to pushing the revolution forward. In a space, muti twagiteekawo kwongera struggle mu maaso. Ngate yandibadde ngate n'emisana wali abagyongeramu. That is how the Kenyans are able to beat us at that. We live in luxury. Oli watuukako watuuse ng'alaba munene tayagala kumanya abaliwo. They feel like they're big. What bigness do you feel about in this country where we are in a sinking boat? Ovimba chimwene nzingo omanyi we are in a sinking boat. You ask some activists, excuse me for that. Like people speak in tongues now. And you tend to think, hey, perhaps I thought we were on the same cause. The mission was to push us forward. Mr. Muji Martin, as me, I'm not interested in that one. Even my own conscience does not even think about it. I am on this space because I want the struggle to continue. Because I want the revolution to continue. That is it. I want Museveni to go down. This is a recorded. My voice can easily be heard. It takes a lot of risks. That's what most people don't understand. But it would be good when you know that you're working as a team. But instead, where you would expect to work as a team, it's your own people that will come out to fight you, that will come out to derail you. And this is the same thing happening to NUP. Is the Twitter sleeper cells. Sleeper cells are people who operate from within. They are not part of you, but they act like they are part of you. If you remember the Trojan horse, for those of you who remember the story of Rome and Troy, the Trojan horse is something that was brought within as something good, destroying the whole system from within. And this is the same thing with our political system. This is the same thing with the struggle. And this is why I ask, like, why is it that up to now we are still begging for people to carry on with the mantle? Where Kenyans tell us to know we are united, for us we are disunited. We cannot even stand on a single cause. Our elites act like that in a different world. A lot of English, na submission, and then they go back. But then, Tell them to mobilize the people. I'm so disappointed with Council Nicholas Opie, and I don't care. This is the night shift space. But the manner in which he came out to speak about NUP and then Robert Chagulanyi sent him, yes, Chagulanyi might have his issues. He might have his fallings. But is this the time? You as intellectuals, what have you done to guide him? Why do you come out on public forums to criticize him at the time when we know that the dictator, that is what he wants? Some of you people. Don't think doing law is a big deal. Doing law, you just did history, literature, and other subjects. You didn't do science in math or anything. Don't act yourselves like as if you're very intelligent. We also intelligent. This is the time we are thinking about uniting to dismantle a dictator that has robbed us our future. Some of us, our future is gone. And some of you are playing gallery to the dictator's games. The dictator is even preparing his grandson to join the military, to take over. And some of you come out. You the lawyers that speak a lot of English, please fold your sleeves and come to the ground. Join the people. Mobilize the people to the protest. We want to remove the dictator. Not in your submissions. Nonsense. You come out to attack Chagulanyi. For what? Is he the best of the best? You've been here in the political scene for close to 20 years. If you feel like he has done a mistake, you guys, some of you have the coordinates to even reach him wherever he is. Why is it that you choose the public forums to come out to criticize NUP, to criticize Chagulanyi? You don't understand reverse psychology? No wonder the article in the Daily Monitor came out and said fake opposition for close to 25 years. Yes, this is it. Hoodwinking us. And now we are here. Every day we try to keep our voices on because those that are supposed to carry on the mantle are living in denial. People live like as if you can, as long as someone earns a salary of 5 million, 10 million, 6 million, they feel like they are above. Comrade Lukanga, my co-host, allow me to yield the mic back to you to moderate. And that's all I had to moderate for now. Thank you. Comrade Lukanga, you can take on and invite comrades to come on board.
Yes, thank you so much, Martin, and to all comrades who are here. When Martin says, what is happening to us as a nation, as the young generation, as Ugandans, I feel like it's like we're not concerned. Although if
Comrade Lukanga, are you there? Okay.
Yes, I am.
If you're there, you can take on the mic. I think my co-host is a bit engaged.
Can you hear me? Hello? Martin, can you hear me? Mugisha, can you hear me? Okay, thank you so much. Yes, as Ugandans, on a serious note, at the rate which the country is at and what is happening, I don't think we could even be having time to party. I don't think we'll be having time to waste at this rate with what is happening and what is going
Dr.
on.
James, are you there? Okay, Mugisha, if you're there, you can take on, comrade. I don't know if I'm being heard loud and clear. Mugisha, if you're there, take on.
No, Martin,
okay. I think Martin has an issue, but Martin, for Lukanga Solomo leader, for me, before Lukanga comes in, as you've invited me, I want to just tell Ugandans, next week, the vetting is starting. We saw what happened in Natifuma. Some members trying to disorganize another member's occasion. Those are signs that sleeper cells are starting to show their real faces. Expect a lot starting next week. You are going to see people you thought a human being turn into monsters, but nevertheless, no retreat, no surrender. Back to you, Lukanga. You can take us through as I finish up with what I'm doing.
Okay, thank you so much. Actually, at that rate, I mean, Ugandans, that is something we should not. What we're looking at is a revolution. As the vetting is going on, whoever gets the card, whoever does not get the card, as long as we have an aim, we're on a mission. Whatever comes out as an outcome, whom they have given the card or not, we still do not have a country where you're going to practice, where you're going to hold that card from. What you're going to be having is maybe the position, but as far as human rights respectfulness is not there, as long as we don't have services, there is totally nothing you're going to be doing other than taking taxpayers' money. So as a revolutionalist, as a Ugandan who needs a change, let us look at where is Uganda heading to. 10 years from now, what are you going to be having? When Martin was talking about the law society, I don't see why you people should even be kuvimba. Because we have left the rule of law to be taken to the drainage. We have not seen the law society coming out to defend human rights. We have not seen them standing to say you're abusing the constitution. We have not seen them. And yet they're the custodian of the law. So there is no need to come and say, as no, it has not worked and you have not used it to your maximum. You have not used it as why you went to school for all those years. A gentleman who claims to be using the law does not respect you at all. And that's why he has not respected the constitution. And that's why he does not respect the rule of law. when Mike was talking about people attacking, all of us, even in our own homes, only that nobody sees it. But we have misunderstandings. And who's heading the party? And what type of people is he leading? And in what kind of society is he operating in? That most of the people who want the cards, who want to lead, they're not part of, like, it is a few are concerned with how Uganda is being governed. A few. So you who needs change, I urge you, into buli kimu ky'olaba ekigenda mu maaso, focus on revolution. Doctor is always telling us, you are the majority. You are the young ones. You know the person whom you want to lead you. So if we
That was just a preamble. Back to you, to Muji Martin. And Sarah, you can take us through the night. This is me, your host. I'm just hosting in with the hashtag revolution now. Museveni must go. All we need is democracy. All we need is human rights realization in our motherland, Uganda. To you, Muji Martin and Sarah.
Thank you, Comrade Mugi, for that. Sorry for the previous space. You realize that the space has collapsed more than 4 or 5 times, and this is deliberate nowadays. But like we also said before, that we will always try our best to make sure that the space keeps running. We'll always try our best to keep the night shift going, and even when they try to pull the space down, we'll always find other mechanisms in which we can keep the space going. With that, having said much on the earlier space, let me invite my comrade Christo. Sarah, you can take on for now and moderate.
Okay. Mwasibye mutya hope everyone's jari ari bulungi nawe zesitamucha. Ahi again ate Mission2026 must go. Yeah. Tulina okumaze tetwatandika by almost kinakisa. Yeah. Obutako zijja kubeeramu. Bannaffe bangi bajja kuva ku mugendo bali have to be pushing. Oli avuddeko kirungi nti omuntu akakumulamu omwana sigala gakwali. So let's keep pushing this revolution no matter what. Bw'ogansiba abafana agenda kutuggusiza nsonga y'abatandika. Ffe tulina okwegguzisa ensonga eno. Obuzibu bwonna bwerimu. Challenges nnyingi tulina. Bannaffe bangi bajja kutuvaamu mati nenkento olina abantu bayamba ogamba kaawo kati n'opulya kannange. Waffe nekyomanyi nti bangi bakyava ku mulamwa kuba tegunnaguka. Challenges zigenda kuba nnyingi. Ojja kuba ogambe ne Kristo wange nakikoze bannange tokibe tugenda.
Sarah, ate osirise busirisi.
I don't know if it's having an issue, or it could be a glitch. And so we didn't,
Muji Martin, are you okay? Muji Martin, please speak to me. If you're there, please speak to me. Muji Martin, can you speak to me?
If you haven't exercised in years, you have to start small with our beginner-friendly Tai Chi class.
Okay, I can see, but okay.
We, the people of Uganda, are the 5 words that open the preamble of the 1995 Ugandan Constitution. This means that the Constitution grants all the power to the citizens. However, a new study suggests that power has shifted from the people to the military. This is in contrary to Chapter 12 of the 1995 Constitution, which stipulates that the Uganda People's Defense Forces should be subordinate to the civilian authority. The legislative processes that have gone on, the administrative processes that have gone on, the architecture of the budget, all of them point to the shift of that power from the people to the military. And that has basically been concluded with the enactment of the UPDF Act 2025. He argues that the military has dominated every aspect of the Ugandan society, further frustrating the power of the people. Whether it is cultural institutions, religious institutions, the economy, and the politics, we've seen them take on a very, very elevated role in the electoral process, which again explains why our elections have become more violent over the years. According to the new study, the UPDF Act 2025 and the UPDF Establishment 2021 completes the whole process of power shift from the people to the military. Just if that is indeed the case, how then does the country shift from such monopoly of power to a one that will equally favor all the citizens?
There can't be qualitative change that happens by itself. It has to be influenced deliberately, consciously, by those who desire to see it happen. It won't fall like rain. It won't. Simply. That's a fact that we must live with, wherever anybody of us is. It can't be wished for.
There's fear that the country could face challenges during this critical transition period, calling for harmonization of power between the military and the citizenry, so Uganda's ugly past does not occur again. Daniel Kibet, NTV.
Okay, Muji Martin, back to you. I hope now you're steady. And Sarah.
I hope I can be heard loud and clear. You can give me a thumb up if you can hear me. Okay. You're welcome, comrades, once again to the Night Shift space. Here we are, continuing with our resilience, with our persistence, regardless of the challenges with the space. I do not know where the attacks are coming from lately, but we made a promise that we will do our best to keep the Night Shift going, no matter what. And here we are. Even when they pull it down, we'll always try to make sure it keeps running. I welcome you all once again aboard. Looking at events that have been happening, looking at things that have been happening, looking at the people that are trying to turn their guns on the revolutionary leader, on the revolutionary party, and people that we've been respecting for a very long time. It's different. In fact, it speaks a lot, you know. But regardless, like we always say on this space, that we must move. We must understand that not everyone is going to be real to the cause. We must understand that we have so many sleeper cells. We have so many people pretending to be part of the struggle when genuinely they are not part of the struggle. And thank God, some of them, we are getting to know them. We are getting to realize them with time. Banji. No, Rachel. We must use our natural intellect. We must use our academic intellect, both of them, in order to evaluate these people and carry on with the struggle. I, as Martin, and the comrades here, I don't think Comrade Mugisha and I or Christo, we are looking for any political seats. And from the time we've been carrying on with the Night Shift space, I kept saying that I'm not seeking for any political seat. I'm seeking for the removal of Dictator Museveni. So, a space that advocates for the removal of the dictator, and I don't care. So if it is the reason why the space is being attacked a lot lately, well, then be it. But we will carry on with that. We want the dictator to go. Museveni must go. And his family. Like it or not. And therefore, we also attacking those that he has been using as his cohorts in the opposition, in the activists, in the struggle, both within and outside. In the earlier space that collapsed, I was saying that majority of our elites are concentrated with positions. They're more Ugandan than the rest. And that is why people still live in denial. Someone thinks because they have a car, they can afford a small car fuel, they can afford an apartment of 400 to 500, 700 or 1 million in somewhere in Chanja or Nigeria or Naguru or anywhere. So they feel like, if it's got to be okay. Nonsense. What is 3 million in terms of the international dollar? That's $1,000. Perhaps what the least paid people in the US earn per week. And for us here, someone is bragging. They cannot even push the cause forward because they think that is too much. And that's where the dictator caught us. He makes sure that our people are comfortable with positions. Not the bigger picture of the liberation of the country. Comrades, Uganda is the land of opportunities. People keep saying that America is the land of the opportunities. But I can tell you that Uganda can even become 2 times more than the US because we have every resource in our country. That is why it's called the Pearl of Africa. Everything good on earth, we have it. The natural resources, we have it. The fertile soils, we have it. The natural good lakes, water bodies, we have it. We have them. We have the gold. We have the rare earth minerals. We have the oil. We have everything. But why is it that we are still where we are? Because the dictator is concerned about his family, not about the bigger picture of the country. And I've been saying this, for a dictator who will come to a parliament that will pass him a classified budget of 4 trillion Ugandan shillings, and then for him to cough 20 billion shillings to buy off MPs, it is nothing to him. What is 20 billion Ugandan shillings to a person who has taken away 4,000 billion Ugandan shillings? Or who got 20 billion Ugandan shillings? It means he has walked away with 3,880 billion. Abawade kenguzia billion ya viti. That's how the dictator robs us our future. But we can make Uganda the America we admire. Only if we learn one thing, to focus on the ultimate goal of Museveni must go. Simple as that. I've done this. No, the issue is, are we speaking the same language that dictator Museveni must go or not? On your ground, what are you doing? Are you mobilizing your people? Are you networking? Are you spreading the message? Some people keep saying they're activists. Some people keep saying they're spreading the cause. Leo tunia kupejiza. Zitukula olutukula. Even international bodies or anything. But, and this is the same thing. Sleeper cells within the revolution. And then at the end of the day, they turn the guns on Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. A man who's nearly not even 6 years in Uganda's politics. Still 5 years. But the people that have been in politics for close to 30 years in the oppositions are the ones attacking him. Yet these are the people you'd expect that perhaps with their relevance, with their experience, they would even add more support to him. Instead, they're adding more support to the dictator. What a shame, what a disgrace to the Ugandans. The land of the martyrs. Really? That even up to now, we still beg for some people to join the cause, to continue with the cause, to continue with the struggle. As if people don't see the realities on the ground. We beg for people to carry on with the information, as if people don't see the need for it. Next year is just a few months away. People are living like it's normal. People are living in normalcy. I can tell you, comrades, that His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is not going to be allowed to move across the whole country. It is us on the internet to make sure that that message reaches on the ground. Simple as that. By coordinating with those on the ground and also spreading the message on the ground. Nobody should dismiss that. But instead, what are we doing? What is being done to supplement the night shift space to move forward? What other spaces are running to carry on the same mantle? We are not here because we are the best, because we are not here because we are here to carry on the revolutionary cause. But this cause is for everyone. Everyone has to play their part. But the more we tend to think that, then that's nonsense, that's stupidity. If you have a comrade who still thinks in that kind of mindset, what kind of reasoning is that? You're in a sinking boat and you're there trying to compare yourself which pygmy is slightly taller than the other. And you think you're also an intellectual. This is not about comparisons. This is about the liberation of the country. We are just all doing our part, our small part in the bigger picture. It will only be prudent enough to support each other, not derail each other. The dictator looks for our weaknesses in order to thrive. Not only comrade or smile justice hunt. Here for animal struggle, attach kubira. And then people cannot even see that some people are eating us from within inside. Like really. Of course, everyone knows it all, where Justice Kanta belongs. Some of us have information about him, even with regime operatives. But we cannot come out and speak about it. But it's painful to see that such people come out, openly, to fight the cause from within. And then they claim to be part of us. When we're together, we need each other's support. And this is why I emphasize. You might not like all the speakers on the night shift space, but support the space. This space is a revolutionary space. It is our home. It is our home. For a year and plus now, it is our home. You will not go on NTV, they give you the platform you want. You will not go on NBS, they give you the platform you want. Here, it is our home. It's a home for change. It's a struggle. It's a revolutionary space. Once we build the chain and strengthen it, then we will be able to dismantle the regime with our efforts as well, as everyone else is playing their part. There's nothing that pains me every day to see that as we try our best to push forward, there are those trying to pull us down. This is why the specialists are crashing lately. Because we are lacking that support base for each other. Everyone doesn't care. Because it feels like this is just a Mugisha thing, it's a Mujimatin thing. That's it. Bro, we left this thing. This is not about Mujimatin or Mugisha. We put this thing, this is for every one of us. You participating in it, you're Ugandan, you're part of it. The way full and you're part of it. This is for every one of us. We are all here. Mugi and Mugi, we just try our best to push it forward. It's a revolutionary space. It is our home. Dr. James, you're welcome. You can take on the mic.
Right. But Martin, I think you said you saw me on the Kenyan space. You were there. Can you give testimony to what the Kenyan space looks like? The number of lawyers, the number of doctors who speak for that space. I think, Martin, you saw it. The number of doctors, the number of lawyers, the number of professionals, the number of the diaspora people who speak on that space. Yes, I was there. You were there. You know, by the way, I'm Ugandan. You people, I keep telling people that I'm Ugandan, but a different breed. Because today I saw a doctor, was it today, yes, being flogged in his kingdom. The quality of doctor is flogged. If you cannot pick a gun from a soldier, that's the respect the doctor is supposed to have. But you look at these Ugandan quacks who call themselves doctors. No. I was a night owl. That's why I was able to tell people like Mother Studies now wobbling in the country. Because I knew what I studied. I knew what I'm supposed to uphold. I remember when I was in Mbarara, somebody came, I remember, I told him, this is outpatient. So I told him straight, this is outpatient, it's not a hospital. This is not parliament. This was speak to me in a way that you want to scare me because you think not here. I am an authority here. That's me. So when I see a doctor flogged, you want to hear, what next? What next? You have been flogged. What next? You're the cream of society. 5 years of studying, 2 years of internship, 7 years of it. You represent that society. And the policeman who comes and flogs you, ask them where's the association? Where is their connection? For me, I just get it sometimes. Some of the things I worked where I am today, and I stand out even here. You just can't tell me the doctor and the policeman comes and disrupts your prayer. I hope you did it, they did it. I hope the doctor wanted to do a prayer so that they cancel the one of some village I saw which was interrupted. Because the doctor represents people, not the judge. The doctor represents justice. For me, I get tired when it's sometimes like now, what we say. Who is going to defend the people if doctors can't defend themselves? If doctors can be flogged. Then, of course, I've heard whatever you're talking about, the Nicholas, your peers. People, we need to separate this thing. Originally, we had people power. It was a revolution. You were tricked into this aligning to, because you have now subscribed to party politics, party rules, whatever. You have to pay by iPod. That's a trick. The people who want to liberate themselves don't look at those things. At the moment, people are struggling for political power, positions, and what have you. But the person who needs the liberation is the person who is going to make a prayer in his chest. An uprising is not going to look at anything. An uprising is not social order. It's not. But much else. I'm driving and how big this road the traffic is like school. But yes, I was listening. I'm just irritated to see that the doctor can be flogged in India and then maybe we shall not even have a repercussion. Then you don't deserve to be a doctor. Which patient will you treat after you have been flogged like a dog on the streets? And you don't get them anywhere. You want to speak to them, you don't see them anywhere. When I was coming to this wall, I invited the Uganda Law Society. I sent them, I don't see any lawyer here. I sent the doctors, I don't see any doctor here. I sent the Uganda police, because I want to speak to them. The way you see If you pick a gun or if you pick a soldier and you all start running, that's how you should behave when you beat a doctor. Me, I practice medicine, but not for place medicine. I mean it. There's a line you draw of respect, of revering. That's why we're even lost with reverence. The word reverence means by respect, to revere. Why did we lose respect for reverence? These Ugandan doctors are joking. When you beat a doctor, the doctor should be ready to fight like when you beat a soldier. But you see, I've seen a lot of people sharing this thing, the prayers in Ginger, Thanksgiving. It's a doctor who had organized it. Doctors give retention. In fact, I've been hard time. I think one of you was saying that some of you think you have that. Yes, society was very, very important. They separate you, they create you in society. Society holds you with respect. So if a policeman comes and flogs you and you can't defend yourselves, no way, not me. I want to book out. And even if I was in Uganda, I would cut off the hospital. The whole region to make sure I work. I get, because me, I have worked with policemen. I have worked on them. They are very sick. In those maniatas, they are very unhealthy. And if not the doctor and the doctors are quiet, maybe they're going to do something. Let me know. Why is it? I can stay listening because I'm driving as usual. Me, I'm going to fish. But I'm annoyed. The anger I have is the anger for the profession. People, have you ever touched a gun? Has a soldier ever lost a gun in your village and you all did run away? Unless some of you have not lived in Uganda. Those days, everybody runs to hide. And you hear the doctor has been a bit flogged in Ginger, and all the people around him were arrested. And the association of doctors don't come up. That's why we lose respect in society. Because you don't represent them anymore. You are as bad, as lousy as anything. And Martin, let me drop the microphone.
I understand you, Dr. James, and thank you for that. I understand what it feels like, a doctor to be humiliated, disgraced by a police officer who probably is just a senior 4 dropout, but clubbing a person that has spent 5 years at the university. But it's because the doctors themselves have decided. You saw last time the medical council kneeling before the dictator, begging the dictator to carry on with another extra years of ruling Uganda. The problem is our people focus more on the small benefits at the time, forgetting the bigger picture, that their profession is now not being respected. Sarah, I'll take on and invite our comrade Lukanga to come on board. Thank you.
Enaka batunyige. Nze Uganda sekyaliinako kisa. Oba bakutani oba ani. Paka fena nga tuuse okuse. Kola otuna agamba nti tusaasire dokita bamuyise bulungi. Tajja kunyiiga. Tajja kutegeera ki kigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga. Leka nabo amale ebitiibwa byabwe. Wayisenga ffe abataasoma. Hey, they wake up. Nawe tubalako nga bayimiridde nti nedda. Ekimala. Leka buli omu amunyigirizeeko. Buli omu amukwatemu. Buli omu bannayuganda bye bajja okusaba. Leka tulinayo abantu abali muka. Nga bo bali abangambe baatuuka bali balina akakundi kabwe bo baatuuka tedda. Tamya kumanya nti tufugibwana na kyemalira. Buli omu banaagenda bamukwatamuko. Bajja kuzibuka Lukanga sejja kulesaayo munnange. Akazindaalo kakuwadde. Komi Lukanga gy'oli? Dr. James, don't get annoyed. That is Uganda. Ate ndakyali mabaga. Mo is still coming. Hey. And Uganda is upside down. Yafata twali tugitegeera. Yavaawo dda. Respect kati weewaako bantu batono. Tukimanyi bulungi. Akakeeke k'abantu. Abawi ba respect. Kati gwe ne bono ojjanga basoma. Oli ojjanga respect. Nga tugajjifu. Kozi teriyo. Twogera. Mabala buli kimu. But sirira kulaba buli kimu. Teri mu mentally good. Paka tunagamba nti enough is enough. Ng'omulagano gati genkabyeko gapala. Tukyekwatiremu tugoba abasajja. Lukanga, if you are there, you can take on the mic.
Give me some few minutes. I reach where there's no noise. I hope you can hear me a little bit. But as Ugandans, on a serious note, I saw what Brayo posted about Nicholas. And this is what I'm going on a serious note. Chamulina Chamutugamba. Era Bachali yasoma. Egwanga Momoli 2 season where did. Momoli 2 season where did. Kubanga mwasoma ebitabo bingi nnyo, you can't even uphold the constitution you studied to defend. Amateeka ge mwasoma egy'emyaka esimanye na oteekeko LDC. Ebyo byonna you cannot even tell the country that we have land people. Let me pass which where there is no noise, comrades.
Okay, nyabo.
Kristo akambuze simanyi mwali mufunye konto mujasa bamukubya mu kirundo bamubye emundu ng'abantu bakankana ne mudukane mwekwekane nti emundu yabulidde mu kyalo kino and that was a minister time, even about this time, special forces. No wouldn't bakubye omusawo ejinja. The doctor was harassed. The doctor has been harassed, has been thrown, has been flogged, and people arrested. No wasn't where's the association. Something I normally tell you that we people want to be able to see. Bokwata kwomu ngowuli nga tugamba nti mabanga. Bokwata kwomu ngolinga kute bonna. Naye abasawo. So who is going to be the defender of the constitution? Who is going to be the defender of people? Omanyi okugamba nti badokita zenyigidde mu kalulu kano. It adds credential to the elections. Time to come where you find that abasomesa, abasawo, engineers, agriculturists.
Doctor, I have lost word. Zakati naguma paka uli Uganda bakina mukwatako tusitoke twevane buli mpaka kina buli omwe banagenda bamutuzaako obuvune buli omu natestingako the bitterness of the dictator. People rise up and will join the cause. Now, ambara zati bali safe. Ona bakwatako musawo buli omu gwawe ekitiibwa. Wano basaba kanso NightShift and lawyer by profession. Asana nsonga emusaka namuteekayo emyezi. Yikwanga yetulimu. Bwe bagamba nti bagenda kukola ekintu do it. Kati mugenda bakola. Bwe bali muyinza. Ebasalawo buli kimu. Olina baganda akabali makumira abayipi abavunda. Tebalina musango. N'abasaba bakimanyi tebalina musango, but because be bali muyinza, be basalawo. Okanga alina kubeera munda ate ng'ojja kubeerayo. Be basalawo kati mu mutte be beeruwuliriza when they feel like we should release her. Naye nga naye mwalina eggwanga. Nyagala obyomba munyingirizaamuko, you never know, maybe Uganda tunazo okuka. Sasa tugenda balengamba ono yatuuka. Nga tugende mu maaso nga tupushinga ko. Kuba siri muntu gwe bananyiga mutagenda kujja beegatteko. No wabajja ogamba sirike. Era yesirikire. Obyagamba no. I have to speak up. I have to join the cause. Tugobera kyemanya. Nanga. Musabe emizindaalo. Musabe emizindaalo eno cause yaffe n'Abannayuganda.
Mukangolo
Kiruka mu shazi rishita dono. Bannayuganda musabe emizindaalo muteese. Tuli baagotse tusiri mwogezi wa lunaku no. Bwe kimu ffenna tukiraba. Kyatamanyi no ggwanga nti lyawambibwa abantu abatini nnyo. Obusobe bw'eggwanga lino Museveni. Buli kyokka kirina ggwa Museveni. Eggwanga likatereera nga Museveni avudde mu buyinza atabudde ate Uganda ejja kutereera. But as long as the guy is in power, ne bw'ona okola otya, tekigenda kutereera. Kukoza ekizibu weekiri. So tunooga eddagala nga twekuŋŋaanya wamu ng'Abannayuganda abanyikiriza abali oppressed. Tuluko omusajja of course tumusobola. Of course tukimanyi. Tufugibwa akagurupu k'abantu abatini ennyo lwakuba tunaffe banyigiriza tweyawudde nze am educated, nze am rich, nze I have money. You know me, I'm saying in Muyenga, you know, Sakulatana Wakatanga, you know me, I have my papers. Sakulatana Mkwatazo. Tweyawudde buli omu ali ku bibye. Kyova olaba bakyatunywezezza. Buli omu kyayi olaba ino mulimu gwange abalekana Museveni must go tebalina mirimu. That's why they are shouting already. They have my job. My kids are starting. Because when I'm international schools, for Uganda, I'm buying a silica. The young time in the system, whenever Temuridi, they get a quarter. That's what is up with the Nakato. And Uganda, to Zoke, to Stoke, Iraneko. Hungariana. To Stoke, no. Then I can say like a cano. Then I can say like a get together with one. Okay, cano. Museveni is in that. I'm approving a principal to approving our speakers. Masitukire bajja musagambe he's annoyed. Don't be annoyed, Dr. James.
But I'm not seeing anyone as Abio Muzindalo.
Gospel doesn't know Malawi one, but I can't upload whom I don't know. Because I have a network problem with one that's mine.
Okay, Principal, I've sent you an invite to speak. You can just approve that. Muji Martin, are you there? Okay, Sarah, take us through. But Musindi Kide, invite to speak.
Somebody Mulavanga answer your questions, Martin Tario. It's okay.
Martin, you can pick up. I've also sent you.
Martin, a drop in, sir.
Yeah, and I'm dropping the but. Yeah, now he is back. I think now he's back in control. Martin, are you back in control? Martin, if you're back in control, show us the thumbs up.
Maybe just struggling.
Yes, I'm back. I keep dropping off. I just don't know why.
Cigarette recorders Martin is settling.
Ba NightShifters. Mwebale kuma kabironga bulijjo. Mpulidde Dr. Mungadi complaininga bana embeebaza okusokera ddala balamusiza mwenna era embeebaza okubeera nti mukola omulimu guno omulungi.
Si complaining Dr. tebamukuba
Iride wanenseko.
tebamukuba nti ni Uganda bakuba buli
ekyo kyembaga kyenganyi ndi mu kugaana Dr. tebamukuba tebabeera wa Uganda.
Nza obeera onsesa busesa kubanga bwe tubeera wadde ebiseera ebimu tumanyi okudda ku bantu tumanyi okucomplaininga ne tulema okupushinga message egamba abantu nti bannange twenunule message yokka yokka esinga eyandibadde esinga okukulembera ng'ebirala byonna tubyogeraku katono kuba dictator buli kimu akikoze n'abimalayo. Okuba dokita oyo kifaanagana bulungi nnyo n'okwata Eddie Mutwe ne bamwambula engoye zonna ne bamukuba ebifaananyi nga bamaze okumotokyalinga. Tekirina njawulo yonna gye kyawukanamu kuba bonna abantu abafaanagana. Kitonoko okuba dokita oyo ne Eddie Mutwe okusinga okuwa abakulembeze b'enno n'obutwa. Naye ffenna tumanyi bwe bafaanana kati era tumanyi ebibatuukako buli lunaku. Walabye nga Nakyemalira taswala n'asituka n'agenda ku luguudo lwaffe Kabaka njagala n'atongoza okuzimba ekizimbe ky'abataka bansowole abataka ab'obusolya bansowole kuba ebyo bigambo byaffe abamanyi oluganda olw'omunda babitegeera bulungi bwe ngamba nti nsowole babeera bategeera kyentegeeza kubanga teriyo Muganda ng'oli ku leve ey'omutaka ow'akasolya asobola konaivinga na muntu alya mu bwakabaka bw'olukwe mu lwatu n'ogenda otandika okukuta naye okusina kukuta n'otandika okukyakala naye mu lwatu n'okinagguka n'oddeeyo n'oyogera ebigambo ebitasaana. Njagala mbakakase dictator agenda kuba bw'aba agenda omuntu yenna yenna ng'afaanana nga dictator waffe bw'afaanana bw'aba agenda oluusi tamanya na bintu byakola kuba byakola oluusi bimusuulira ddala. Ekikolwa kye yakoze tasobola kusigaza yadde ekitundu ky'akalulu mu Buganda era bw'ona akalaba amanya nti ajja kuba byekabbe. Buganda Kabaka tebamuyisaamu maaso n'obeera weeyita ki bw'omuyisaamu amaaso ffe tukusasula. Kati kakasa bukakasa nti mu Buganda His Excellency Kyagulanyi ne bw'atakube mu campaign yadde olunaku olumu ne bw'atakube mu yadde essaawa emu obulwa agenda kusena busene ate buli yenna yenna aliko akakala akayero tagenda kulondawo yadde akalulu.
Seguya akutegeeza ku ekyo nti kyewunyisiza nnyo nti omugwira agenda Emmengo n'atongoza ekitebe kya Saabataka nga Saabataka mwennyini Kabaka eyandibadde akikola taweeweddwa mukisa. I mean, this is really kyetuyita nti okumanyiira in your own house, and this goes back into this dictator akikoze nnyo yakikola ab'ebunyoro, and the problem is people keep dismissing these things. The Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom, people who don't understand Bunyoro, the issues happening in Buganda are the same issues happening in Bunyoro Kingdom. Having been part of the people that have ever worked in Bunyoro, that side, the king of Bunyoro was poisoned, just like the Kabaka of Buganda was poisoned, to the point that at some point, even the Bunyoro Kingdom had been divided between the Bagungu and the Banyoro. The Bagungu are those people in the Bulisa region where the oil is. The dictator had divided them. It's the same thing. These things are well planned by the dictator. System. kakati wagende Mengo n'akola ekyo kyakola aba alina message gyayisaawo nti kati ye mwennyini ye mukungu omukulu kwandamayininga obwakabaka ne Katikkiro Mayiga n'asirika nti kye n'atabaako kyayogera kikutegeeza ki all institutions zaawambibwa nga ekiri e Buganda kyekiri e Bunyoro kyekiri mu West Yankole kyekiri ne mu Bugisu mu Bamasaba kyekiri ne mu Itesot region wa Imolmol kyekiri ne mu North until these people get to realize that they are being hoodwinked, they are being controlled, they are being deluded by the same dictator. Until they realize this and rise up to the occasion, nothing is going to change. Go on, say we are
webale sebo kulambika nsonga eyo nakyemalira byoyinza okuba nga tumanyi ku bataka abo abavuddeyo kola ekyo lwaki tubayita nsoole mu myaka gy'ataano twazindwa ekibinja ky'abantu abaali basaba obuddamu nga bavudde e Rwanda naye baavaayo tebaalina mulimu gwonna gwe baali basobola kukola okuggyako emirimu ebiri okukola obupakasi okulima mu lusuku n'okulunda ente zaffe naye abasajja abo baakwananga abakyala ab'abataka manya nti omutaka azaala mutaka kati abaana abo abazaalibwa bo balina mission yaabwe nga ntegeke kuba waliwo video ezaakolebwa abaali bamuyita brother Abraham yakola video ezo zambulako nazino nya nezimbula kati zikyali ku YouTube alayika yaziwanula balayika bamusasula akasente n'aweta naye singa oba ozirabye zikunnyonnyola bulungi nnyo step by step engeri abantu abo gye bajjamu babayita abadahemuka ekigambo ekivunulwa mu Luganda obulungi nti abatalina nsonyi abadahemuka bajja ne batusensera ne batega abawala baabwe abaakula engeri y'ekiraalo ne babatutega ne tubawasa bajjajjaffe ne babawasa ne babazaalamu abaana naye waggulu waakyo ate ne baddira abapakasi bano abajja okukola okulima mu nsuku zaffe n'abajja okulunda ente ne bakuta ne bazaala mu bakyala babajjajjaffe abaana abo be batakabola abakoze eki abaavuddeyo okujja okukola ebyo byolaba bakola bo balina system yaabwe bamanyi abantu baabwe be bali babanoonya ne babayingizaamu message gwe watandika ddi okumanya nti Mukasambidde yali omu ku bo watandika ddi ko kyekiyinza okuba ekifaananyi ekituufu kakasumba kakakyuka okufuuka gashumba kaali kakasumba kakakyuka okufuuka gashumba baali bakayita kasumba kati manya nti mweyo level mwe bali abataka bonna abavuddeyo okukwata sente beetegereze bulungi nnyo gendo bachekinge background yaabwe oyinza obutazuula naye gwe buuliza ku kimu kumanya nti mu bbanga kiro bayina omupakasi oba abapakasi awaka ate nga tekiriko kubuuza amaka g'omutaka tegayinza kubula mu mupakasi gabiramu abapakasi so omusi babiri bangi tugabeeramu abantu abalunda ente abalaalo kati abaana abo bayinza okuba nga okungozeeyo kwe bava kubanga omuganda ddala tasobola kukola ekyo kye baakoze omuganda akuzirira ekyokulya ng'enjala emuluma Museveni buli kimu akikoze asembezaayo Buganda atulugunyiza n'atukomyayo naye mukakasa nti obutwa obumutwala buli mu Buganda era agenda time travel abaddewo wano kyemanyi gyali ebali awuliriza bwe nsabye akazindaalo n'adduka naye kyenjagala omuwa amawulire gano agatwale eri bakama abaabo abagambe nti bagenda oba banaakola ki oba banaakola ki bagenda bye batukoze bikola ki bimala kale sigenda kwonoona budde bungi okujja kukangende ku bantu baffe gwe munnange yonna gy'oli kola eggaali etandikira ku gwe ng'okyali wekka eyo ggaali bw'ofuna munnaako egattako eggaali ebeerewezeza abantu babiri bwe muwera basatu ebeerewezeza basatu mpaka bonaasobola naye watusobodde balala gw'omu omala system egenda okuba Museveni emujje mu ntebe muteeke ebbali tumukwate nga bwe twagala n'okumuboneza tumubonereze eggaali egenda okuba Museveni ne babatiisatiisa mbu ate waliwo aba opposition abakuba poliisi ennyondo apoliisi batukuba amasasi buli lunaku batukuba batu ndi lwaki bw'oba osobodde okumukuba ennyondo togimukuba abo bantu muve mu ebyo ebyokwekomama ensi yakyuka teri yagenda kuva bunaayira kujja tulwanirako ffe tulina okwerwanira okukyusa ensi yaffe mutawaana gwaffe abaagala okugikyusa mu mirembe sibakugira nabo bakwate ekkuba eryo naye nze ŋŋamba nti abasobola okulaba ensonga nti Museveni tawulira lulimi lwa ddembe naffe tukwate ekkubo lyaffe lino ery'okumukwasa amaanyi Tebiba mukusanga. Akalulu kasita kamala okukubibwa ne kaggwa bwe pa ne tumala okumanya nti tukawangudde constituency we tuli, akasirikale ka police ke tuddamu okusanga mu kubo we tuyita. Ako kamanye nti kali mu kaseera kazibu. Owamagye gwe tuddamu okusanga mu kubo we tuyita, amanye nti ali mu kaseera kazibu. Ayagala emirembe byambala abijjemu afune gy'abiteeka bikweke wala n'akabundu naye gwe tukwatako ng'abiyina. Kuba ffe tugenda kubanga ffe tufuga buli wamu. Teri yatubulira kyakola. Kitwagala kimu kuteeka mukulembeze gwe tulonze mu ntebe. Ogwo ni mutujja gukola nga tumaze okuwamba obuyinza ne budda mu ngalo zaffe. Teriyo magye mbakakasa. Teriyo magye gagenda kusobola kulwanyisa bannayuganda. Ku busungu bwe tuyina teriyo magye gagenda tulwanyisa. Era jeno yo wamakudde. Abantu abatera okujjalo ne bawuliriza bitwogera. Bamubuulire. Tujjamu walulaga amakudde ku kolansi. Aje kijjamu enjawulo. Ne mutumanyira mutukana okulingira ne mugenda sebo nogenda gwe serwajja okota nogenda kabaka njagala mbole ogulewo ekizimbe ky'abataka bansowole. Mwe bani. Omuntu atalina kyalwanira okulwana ko tekubaawo. Nefe tulina kye tulwanira. Tulina kye tulwanira. Gwali eyo ng'owulira tulina kyolwanira. Kale beera yotuule. Gwatalina kyolwanira beera yotuule. Olinde tujja kununula. Oba oli awo olitegeera nti wali olina kyoyinza okulwanira oluvannyuma. Nefe bitulabye tubirabye era tulowooza mbu ensonga esinga okuba enkulu yadde akalulu kano bakama baffe ab'ebyobufuzi balaba nti ekayinza okutwala Museveni. Fe abasinga tugamba tujja kakuba kubanga nalyo limu ku kkubo naye kigenda okutwala Museveni ffe tugenda okumugagambulamu mu ntebe kuba yagyesibamu n'eggaamu tulina kumujja mu lwampaka. Tawulira musajja oyo muzeeyi. Tawulira ebintu bye byakumukwasa kifuba ku buli kimu. Yetwala nti mugezi nnyo ategeera nnyo yeye asinga okutegeera buli kimu. Seba agenze nawali n'atandika okuddamu okusomesa ebyo ebyokutukinagukirako. Timuyinza mutya okubeera nga abantu bafumbirwa amawanga gaabwe gokka. Mwenga mufumbirwa amawanga gaabwe. Bo bafumbirwa na famire yaabwe yennyini nnyini. Omwana ava mu nju n'afumbirwa mu nju mwennyini. Naye omusajja oyo muzeeyi mutuufu waliwo olwempulira ng'obusungu bunselinga naye akasajja kano ne mala nkakwatako n'ettaano zange. Naye Katonda akyakawadde omukisa. Ebbanga lino tekagenda kubeera na mukisa guno gwe kayina. Bannange nze ngeri gye nnina obusungu mundeke enkome wano. Wabeewo abantu aboogera ebintu eby'ensonga ebiyinza okubeera nga byo bireetawo okukubukakamu naye nze sirina bya bukakamu ebyange bya busungu. Era benkubiriza bonna mbagamba nti ffe kuba eryaffe akalulu tukakube bwe tumala okukakuba ate bonna tubalonde ne babeera ba MP tubalonde. Tubakubya kugamba nti ate nze ba MP tesigenda balonda bonna tubalonde. Ba MP baffe tubalonda ba Ambulera oba nabo betukolagana nabo mu mukago guno gwaffe gwe tulimu nga UPC ne PFF tubalonde nga tuteekeddwa okubalonda tulonde pulezidenti bwe tumala tugende tuwamba obuyinza. Kwa akakalulu tukakuba kukakasa nti bano betulonze bagenda okukola obukulembeze. Bali Western countries baleme kututunulira nga abagamba nti eggwanga liri lawless kati mu kiseera ekyo. Tujja kuba tulina abantu betumaze okulonda bagenda okutekinga on government then ffe tugende tuwamba obuyinza. Tugende tuwamba obuyinza. Okuva n'olwaliro message yange egenda kubeera nga yeye efaanagana. Bwe tukuba akalulu Museveni bwe tumuwamba ekiro budde bugenda okukyanga kali mu bukulembeze bwa Uganda. Teriyo byakulinda birala nti ate batubuulire simanyi tulinde byabakama. Ebyo yajja okulinda byabakama yonna gy'anaasobola okumulinda bwe tunabanga tumaze mukwata. Bwe tunaba tumaze okumukwata ne byabakama ajja kubeera wakwatirako kuba yazaayo nona buli kimu. Waliwo abantu poliisi yaabwe nze nagikola n'enjimala. Museveni kitabani kye byabakama Saabalamuzi Anita Among Thomas Tayebwa Robert Mau abo bonna abakola effujjo nga bakinagukira ku bannayuganda balye kamanye ng'akoza n'omugengo owebwa ekyo babeere nga bakimanyi. Tetugenda basonyiwa bwe tutyo kubanga mu bibakola mufiiriddemu obulamu bw'abantu. Mufiiriddemu obulamu bw'abaana betulowooza nno ye Uganda ey'enkya. Kati naffe tugenda bakwasa bukwasa kisa. Kuba amawanga gonna ge tulaba agateredde gaamala kujjawo bantu boononefu bwe batyo. Bwe tunaabalekawo kigenda kusiga ekifaananyi ekifo mu banajja oluvannyuma nabo bajja kulowooza nti bajja tukola bwe batyo bamale batambule bagende. Tulina kubajjawo mu ngeri y'obukambwe ennyo enaakugira abalala bonna abayingira ebyobufuzi bamanye nti bayingidde mulimu gwa kukolera abantu so si kujja kutulugunya abantu kubabbako bintu byabwe ate bamale batambule bagende eri babeere bulungi bamaze okuzimba bakoze properties mawanga g'e Bulaaya. Ffe tweyaguza lujjo. Bannaye kankomaawo neeyanziza bwe naaba nina akakisa nadda.
Okay, tweyanziza nnyo ebigambo ebyo. Mwami Odinga adduse badde mmanyi agenda kujja olw'ensonga adde alina ensonga enkulu gy'ayagala otusomesaamu ensonga ya vetting eya National Unity Platform. Naye ate ndaba alabika yeewunguddemu oba gy'oli ng'owuliriza Mwami Principal D, you can come up and speak about the vetting process of the National Unity Platform. Remember, this is a night shift. Here we don't stop any person bw'aba alina ky'ayogera. We let everyone speak what he thinks adds on the struggle. Yeah, here he comes back. Mwami Principal D, you can pick up the microphone and take us through the vetting system of the National Unity Platform. As you had stated earlier on, to speak about the vetting process of the National Unity platform so that people can understand and how best it so that it doesn't catch them by surprise, those who know and those who don't know. I've sent you the microphone, Prince Body. Hope you can pick it up there. Muji Martin and Sarah, back to you, the host of tonight.
Rukanga, did this settle? Or was still up and down? Okay. As Prince Body is picking up the mic, the kanjira njokila. Tuli wano kutema mpenda kujako na chemali. No, tatu wano kuisa bivulu. What is already late?
Comrade Christo.
You are back, okay.
Twagala sente za revolution. Abo bonna abakadde abali okutuganira mbo musimanyi sente bazibye twagala sente. Era yenna gwe gyoli ng'owuliriza twagala sente za revolution. Whatever is going to happen during the vetting, let the leaders do their job. But we know our main focus is to see us unseating the dictator. It will not make sense for us to have so many MPs when Museveni is still the head of the government, the head of Uganda. He's supposed to be representing the elderly. That's the position he should be contesting for, but not to present us as the whole country. He's supposed to represent a certain section of elderly people. But unfortunately, he's representing a certain section of a group of individuals who have turned this country into a monarchy, into anything they want. So, Comrade Mugisha, tudosomeseza ya constitution obamba desiwulira obato naba mukama wange nonya constitution yo weri otusomese. So whatever is happening, all our elites, whatever is going on, guys, the main focus is to see us unseating the dictator. There is nothing. There is totally nothing. Never nalonda MP nga yogera oluzungu olulingo olwa America oba olingo oba British tekigenda kutuyamba nga Museveni yakyali mbukulembeze. Imagine a doctor being flogged. Kubanga abasawo, you know what is interesting is that bago lya mateeka abayita amateeka ago mu parliament. Qualifications ezisinga ze baagala omuntu okwesimbawo for parliamentarian must be a senior 6 graduate. Naye ajja ogera kumugamba nti nabasobola okubongeza abasawo sente. Akimanyi tekitegeeza okusoma n'ofuka doctor. Oba okwongeza teacher omusaala. Akimanyi tekitegeeza. So if we are not ready to change this regime and we still have that kind of people in parliament, bamikwano twerimba. No wonder our education system has gone to the dogs. Now abasomye balowooza nti bategeera nabeera batulaga nti tebategeera. I'm sorry to say this, but we need to speak the reality, we need to speak the facts. Rule of law in Uganda no longer exists. But we have people who have turned the books and they can quote for you article, clause, this section, this subsection, you name them all. But when it comes to saying justice to the country, they are quiet. They are not ruling us within the constitution of Uganda. But the ultimate price as Ugandans is for us to say enough is enough. But now, as much as we forget enzungu zaabwe batuquoting the articles ezitatuyamba ze batadifendinze, the one that is most important to Ugandans, that is Article 1. That at the moment, you know, kusaba bakubajjako dapaka nga bagadde. So the vetting is going on next week. I mean, it's starting this week. Yes, let them do whatever they want. But as long as we still have Museveni, never know our candidate card. Nga goba do yaga naye nga Museveni akyali mbunyinza era tekigenda kutuyamba. Ekyo kyontu begayiridde. Let us focus on the revolution. Let us focus on how to unseat the dictator. We have had commissions taking on whatever, many committees, but there is nothing, nobody is talking about Museveni, nobody. The only thing he does is to change the goalpost. Walaba ngoli ali wali tagenda kusobola ku defending bintu byabo bibadde, kiki kyakola nga amukyusa, nga atekawo omulala ngoli amugamba genda wetege, genda webake. Nga tuwoza bamukyusiza, nothing, they're all the same. Because he cannot do anything in our favor. It is us to do everything in our favor. So anything we should be talking about at this time is seeing how to unseat Museveni. Guys, imagine us having Museveni in 2026. Now they are bringing for you the grandson. So here we are saying, onotazalibwa wano bagenda baleserwa bagenda bagamba bamuzalira yazalibwa mu Uganda. What are we going to say? That you know? So tusobola okupreventing akatono ke tulinawo ke tukyasobola okupreventing at the moment. Tusobola. All avenues are not closed. All avenues are not closed. And it is us to open them up and close them up. So what is going to happen? We are going to forget about the revolution and focus on whom they have given the card. Guys, no. I'm so sorry, but that is not the main issue. The main issue is us to unseat the dictator. Never member of parliament, Chukumi, nga Museveni yakyali mu government, yakyali leading a government. We are the people who cannot impeach the president of Uganda, yet we have that mandate to do so. And through parliament. Yesterday, Comrade Mugisha was saying, can we have a member of parliament? I'm passing this motion, let us impeach Museveni. And we see. But at this rate, where everybody looks at, oh, we need them more, then you forget about it. Forget. The only solution is us to unesit the regime as a nation. As a nation. Arua from east to west, north, south. That is our job now. Let us preach the revolution. Ibanange. Tuchawaza vetting and Gabagana Kerenche Babagano kugenda okufuna nominations. Are we ready to take on the mantle? It is not Chagulanyan, it is not Chagulanyan who's going to organize us. No, it is us to organize ourselves. Is that MP going to protect? Is he willing to go on the protest vote in Tinsoke, Nkumaka president in the Kaka MP, Achifocha and Soken, Soket Twali, Gom Kulembeze Guanga?
Okay, Lukanga, one to say, two say, before my brother Prince Podi comes in, about a certain issue, I will first play this and then go to the point. It will be very quick so that our brother Prince Podi takes us through something.
We, the people of Uganda, are the 5 words that open the preamble of the 1995 Ugandan Constitution. This means that the Constitution grants all the power to the citizens. However, a new study suggests that power is shifted from the people to the military. This is in contrary to Chapter 12 of the 1995 Constitution, which stipulates that the Uganda People's Defence Forces should be subordinate to the civilian authority.
The legislative processes that have gone on, the administrative processes that have gone on, the architecture of the budget, all of them point to the shift of that power from the people to the military. And that has basically been concluded with the enactment of the UPDF Act 2025.
He argues that the military has dominated every aspect of the Ugandan society, further frustrating the power of the people.
Whether it is cultural institutions, religious institutions, the economy, and the politics, we've seen them take on a very, very elevated role in the electoral process, which again explains why our elections have become more violent over the years.
According to the new study, the UPDF Act 2025 and the UPDF Establishment 2021 completes the whole process of power shift from the people to the military.
I will begin from there. Comrades, brothers and sisters on the night shift, I think, Lukanga, you've got your pen. And I will start strictly. I will be juggling in Luganda and English. Under Uganda's 1995 constitution, as amended, there are 2 core moments when every Ugandan is called upon to rise up, and 2 distinct ways in which this duty is given concrete effect. One in defense of the constitutional order itself, and the other in the conduct of and participation in elections. We are going into elections. And as per the constitution, the constitution ya Uganda, constitution yakulagira okuvaayo, ojimirirewo to rise up. To rise up, I don't know how to simplify the word rise up, but omuntu yenna muna Uganda bw'omugamba rise up, amanya nti nno omugamba yimukiramu. Mu mbeera yonna, mu mbeera nga Sebuya gy'ayogera gy'atera okwogerako n'etiisa abamu, mu mbeera nga aba liberals gye bagamba abamu ey'emirembe, mu mbeera zonna to rise up. Constitution ekugamba biri ebintu bibiri wokkirizibwa okuvaayo nga munnayuganda okola ekisoboka kyonna okulaba nti nno tebimenyebwa. Nekugamba nti ekisooka ng'odifendinga constitution yennyini oba ng'odifendinga enkola ya ssemateeka obutamenyebwa. Ekyokubiri nekugamba mu nkola ey'okwenyigiramu naddala mu by'okulonda ekisooka kyamenyebwa. Ensonga yiino lwaki Mwami Museveni n'abantu be batya protest vote. Ekisooka baakimenya ye voice note gye nsoose okuzannya nti baashifutinga dde obuyinza ne babujja mu mikono gy'abantu ne babujja mu mikono gy'abannamagye. Ekyokubiri ekyo kyandibadde tusukiramu naye tetwakyenyigiramu nnyo olw'ensonga abeefuula nti batukiikirira mu nyumba mu August House oba mu Parliament baakisiwako nsaano oba baakisiwako mazzi oba baakimma amazzi. Ekyokubiri kye tugendamu era kye tulimu kyekyakalulu. Ekisooka rising up to defend the constitution. Article 3 defense of the constitution oba article eyokusatu eyogera ku defendinga ssemateeka w'eggwanga. Article eyokusatu eya constitution wa Uganda ekulagira, it makes it a duty, mulimu, tekusaba, ekulagira mulimu, and not merely a right. It is not a right, it is a duty. 2 distincts. When the constitution defines something as a duty, it means whether you like or not, if you really love your country, you must act upon it. So Article 3 of the Constitution, which states the defense of the Constitution, makes it a duty and not merely a right for all citizens, as per Article 34, that all citizens of Uganda shall have the right and duty at all times to defend this Constitution, and in particular to resist. The word resist, put it in quotation. To resist, kuteka, kuwagama, to resist any person, omuntu yenna nga ba Museveni, or group of persons, nga ba minister be n'abantu baatula nabo, ne Anita Among, seeking to overthrow the established constitutional order. Teboogedde ku kugamba nti constitution kati egiddwawo, wabula constitution eyogedde ku constitutional order enkola ya ssemateeka ekitegeeza ne bwe liba ddaala limu mu constitution nga limenyeddwa baba bavudde ku nkola ya ssemateeka constitution ekulagira okuvaayo oyimirirewo and resist and b eri ebadde a and b to do all in their power to restore this constitution okukola kyonna ky'olina okukola mu maanyi go okulaba nti enkola ya ssemateeka eddizibwawo after it has been suspended wabeera nga bagidibiza oba nga bagijjeewo oba nga bagijolonze oba nga bagiamendinze bagitizeetize contrary to its provisions nga tebeesigamye ku nkola ya ssemateeka yennyini nga bweragira. Article 35 wali tubadde ku 34 Article 35 eyongera n'ekugamba any person or group of persons who, as required by clause 4 of this article, resist the suspension, overthrow, abrogation, or amendment of this constitution, commits no offense. Amakulu gaakyo nti omuntu yenna aresistinga awagama n'atakkiriza bantu kumenya ssemateeka najijolonga nakola bye baagala ng'ate be bakastodiani ba ssemateeka omuntu yenna ayimirirawo n'aresistinga talina musango gw'aba akoze. Article 36 neyongera n'ekugamba where a person referred to in clause 5 waggulu gw'enkugambye resistinze is punished ng'abonerezeddwa for any act done under the clause ng'abonerezeddwa olw'ekikolwa kyonna kyakoze kakibeere ekikolwa mwami Seeguya kye yatugambyeko abamu ne tutiitiira kakibeere ekikolwa ekyo n'obonerezebwa constitution egamba nti n'okwo kubonerezebwa kwaba bakubonereza kuli void kuba kufu. Where a person referred to in clause 5 is punished for any act done under that clause, the punishment shall be considered void, and that person shall be taken to be absolved from all liabilities. Ne bongera ne bakugamba how to rise up. Olina kugimukiramu otya. Kati kuno kunnyonnyola. Ekisooka peaceful mu mirembe or armed resistance. Bakuddire mu Lukanga. How to rise up ng'okozesa ennyingo 35 eya ssemateeka. Olina kikola otya nga weesigama ku ssemateeka bakugamba peaceful or armed resistance so long as it is in their power. Kyonna ky'osobola okukola mu maanyi go. Bw'oba osobola kufujjira muntu ddusu, bw'oba osobola kutamwa, bw'oba osobola kweyikyawa, bw'oba osobola kweyambula nga ky'osobola okukola mu maanyi go. Constitution yakuta. Peaceful or armed resistance so long as it is in their power to defend or restore the constitution. Okudifendinga ssemateeka oba okuzzaawo enfuga ya ssemateeka. Ekyokubiri ne bakugamba resistance is explicitly I don't know how to simplify kwegamba resistance eno mu bugonvu it is decriminalized. Ekikolwa kiri kyokoze resistance is decriminalized. Any such citizen action is not an offense. In bold letters, any such citizen action is not an offense. Any. Tebakutaddeeko miguwa nti olina kukoma ku kino okukola naddala ng'odifendinga ssemateeka n'enfuga ya ssemateeka. Owulidde. Ne bakugamba and any punishment imposed under an unconstitutional regime. If we speak about an unconstitutional regime, you all know very well that we are being kyovula nakusookezza kugulire liri erya NTV nga likulaga nti enfuga ya ssemateeka mu Uganda yadibizibwa tekyaliwo. Ekitegeeza regime etufuga it is not constitutional. Kyovula bwe tunaanunula eggwanga ba Edi Mutwe bonna tebalina misango gye bavunaanwa mu mbeera yonna yadde n'essaawa eno tewali misango gye bavunaanwa. And any punishment imposed under unconstitutional regime is declared void upon restoration of the constitutional order. Ensonga ey'okubiri, rising up in the context of elections. Tugenda mu kalulu. Constitution nga yo bw'ogigendamu n'ogyekkaanya ennyo okuyimukiramu naddala mu nsonga z'akalulu eyogera etya naddala nga tugenda mu protest vote. Beyond physical defense, ng'osukulumyeko ku physical defense ya constitution gye tubaddeko waggulu. The constitution also calls citizens to arms. Quotation. In quotation. Kino simanyi abamanyi oluzungu n'abatalumanyi oba kitegeerekeka. Beyond the physical defense of the constitution waggulu, the constitution also calls citizens to arms. Mukono resistance of a different sort. For example, the civic weapon of voting. This is what they call a protest vote. Abo abeefuula nti bagimanyi, abeefuula nti protest vote si kibi, tebamanyi ssemateeka ki kyagamba. Kale no bubakeeredde. Kuba constitution kennyini ekuyita gwe the citizens to arms of a different sort. In quotation, the civic weapon of voting, registering and participating in democracy. A. Expressing the sovereign will. Article 1(4) eya constitution y'eggwanga egamba etya. It provides that the people shall express their will and consent through regular, free and fair elections of their representatives or through referendums. Nebajja ku B, duties of citizens in an election. Obuvunaanyizibwa obwa munnansi mu kalulu. Chapter 2 over Article 17(1)H, Chapter 2 obliges every adult citizen to register for electoral and other lawful purposes, while Article 17(2) requires able-bodied citizens to undergo military training. Neewuunya abakwata abavubuka ba NUP tebakutte na byakulwanyisa tebakutte na ki bali mu nga bascout. Article 17(2) requires able-bodied citizens to undergo military training for the defense of this constitution whenever called upon. Article 29F up to G. It is a directive principle. Abamanya mateka, if we speak about a directive principle or directive principles, you know what it means. Zibampa jiruwaga. It further enjoins every citizen to promote democracy and rule of law. It is not my own. It is not principle's role only, or dark matter, or Sebuya, or Lukanga, or Mukasa, or Wahanze, or Subuka, or Justice Supporter. No. It is the Constitution saying this. Article 29F to G. It is a directive principle. And it enjoins every citizen to promote democracy and the rule of law, and to acquaint himself or herself with the provisions of the Constitution, and to uphold and defend the Constitution and the law. C. Mechanics of electoral participation. That is registration and voting. And these are conducted under Chapter 6, Article 59 to 64, which guarantees the right to vote and to be registered under Article 59, and the National Electoral Commission tasked with ensuring free and fair elections, that is Article 61. And the remedies, or the observers and the legal remedies for disputed results, you can check Article 62, 64. So in some of that, in principle to election, whenever the constitutional order itself is unlawfully threatened, all Ugandans must rise up, either within the election, after the election, before the election, or anytime. Whenever the constitutional order itself is unlawfully threatened, imagine they are speaking about being threatened. It means even within the due course. All Ugandans must rise up, resist and restore under Article 3. And in the ordinary political arena, especially around elections, citizens rise up by registering, voting, promoting democracy, and holding leaders to account, fulfilling the duties under Article 1, 17, and 29, and exercising rights under Chapter 6. As I conclude the last part, defending elections in Uganda is an essential part of defending the Constitution. Okudefendinga akaluluko okakuba kugamba kanonye, kalonde, kakuume, bwe bakabba kabanje, okabanja kati wano wali ekinyusi. Bw'obanja akalulu oba defending ssemateeka. Defending elections in Uganda is an essential part of defending the Constitution, because elections are the primary means by which sovereignty is exercised. These are rejoinders within the principles of law. And by the people under Article 1, the Constitution of Uganda explicitly and implicitly calls upon citizens to defend elections in several ways, legally, peacefully, and constitutionally. 1. Elections as expression of sovereignty. Article 1.4. The people shall express their will and consent on who shall govern them and how they should be governed, through regular, free, and fair elections of their representatives or through a referendum. So any attack on free and fair elections is an attack on the sovereignty of the people, and defending elections becomes an act of defending the Constitution. Okakuma, okabanja, oba okoze kiri ekyokudefendinga ssemateeka. Ekyokubiri, duty to resist unconstitutional interferences. Article 34. All citizens of Uganda shall have the right and duty at all times to resist any person or groups of persons seeking to overthrow the established constitutional order, and to do all in their power to restore the Constitution. And in this, it includes electoral fraud. It includes military interference. It includes suspension of elections. It includes unconstitutional amendments, e.g. removing term limits or age limits unfairly. Nayenze ndi wali ndi ku bintu bibiri bubisatu bye tusuubira mu kalulu ke tugendamu: electoral fraud, military interference, suspension of election. Constitution ekugamba yimukiramu and resist in any way possible. Therefore, defending the integrity of election by opposing rigging, unfair results, and suppression of voters is part of the duty to uphold the Constitution. Olita kulimba nti obeera olina etteeka ly'omenye mu ssemateeka wa Uganda. Amakulu okudefendinga akaluluko, okabanja, n'okuwakanya okubba akalulu ne results ezitali ntuufu ezitali mu mateeka n'okunyigiriza abalonzi kitundutundu ku kulwanirira ssemateeka. Ekyokusatu, how can citizens defend elections? Gwe munnansi osobola otya okulwanirira okudefendinga akaluluko? Legal and peaceful means include vote, exercise your right under Article 59, report irregularities through election observers, petition or media, challenge elections results. Article 104 allows any candidate to petition the Supreme Court if they believe the presidential election was conducted in accordance with the law. This is a remedy. You can go to the court if you believe the presidential election was not conducted accordance with the law. Echilala, mobilize civic education, promote awareness of voting rights, Article 29G. Echisembayo wansi, peaceful protest protected under Article 29, 1D, freedom of assembly. Ebitakkirizibwa bye bino mu mateeka, tetujja kwogera tutyo, twagala twogera amateeka gonna. Violent overthrow of government or election officials. Ekyokubiri, vigilantism. Ekyokusatu, inciting hatred or ethnic division. However, Article 35 protects citizens who peacefully resist unconstitutional acts, including sham elections or military takeovers. Such resistance commits no offense. Article 35 kugamba okuyimirirawo okugube obutakkiriza majje kwefuula nga kirala naho kalulu akatali ka bwankanya era okukukuba okwo oba toyina teeka lyomenye. Nga maliriza tusuubira byenjogedde bibaddemu amakulu oba amatini oba amangi naye kansuubire Omukama Katonda ajja tugasa nabyo. For example, in summary, electoral rigging or fraud violence, constitutional basis, you can find it in Article 134, which calls for peaceful resistance and civic action, suspension or postponement of election without legal basis. Article 3, which talks about legal challenge and public mobilization, unfair electoral laws or manipulation. Article 59, 104, which calls upon petitioning the courts, advocate and reforms, post-election violence or suppression, which calls for Article 29, 38, for peaceful assembly and vote protection. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Principal Diwe Mang and Stretchy in there, but I see you've gone into listeners. Please, you can come and speak to us because your issue is also so important, especially to understand how the vetting system works so that the citizens don't think the National Unity Platform is going overboard, but instead it is doing something for the nation. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mudi Martin, Sala, and Lukanga. Lukanga ndoza kirasi ya lere na yonji maliriza.
Tweyanziza buli kimu tukiwulidde. Ya Principal Dimwongere omuzindalo abasobola okwogera naye ayiseewo ensonga kwa buli kimu tukyetaaga biddoboozi lya muntu tulyetaaga oza byebyo leero tutandika vetting netusigale ku mulamwa kimanyi tujja kwekuba ebikonde you know what tusigale ku mulamwa ifu yakujjako nakyemalira yes twetaaga abakulembeze naye nga nakyemalira akyali mu ntebe tutatubeere bagezegeze nga baana bwa musota tuwe ekibiina chance tukole ogwakyo naffe tugole ogwaffe ng'abagoberezi b'ekibiina nze mujje mwogere
Lukanga olina ky'oyongerako awo. Muji Martin, speak to us, my brother.
nga Martin akyaliyo babadde tusaled ekyo kukyayogere Lukanga yagenze mu baana be sebwe byabadde byogera okwogera byonna byogedde.
I think Principal Diali mu connecting and he has a network problem.
Principal Dinga wajja balozweze naku 10 okuva comrade oli owadi ya South Africa yakwatibwa n'olwaliro bakyamuyina tetunavayo kwekalakasa. Principal Di wajja ngenda kutaka zindalo era gwe ninda n'olwaliro tetunavayo kola ki kwekalakasa okusinga ddala mu abali mu diaspora. Dr. Mungadi ne tiimu yo ewuyaze kamote ayogere bwanaaba nfunye wakadde oluvannyuma nadda nemba denjagala kuleeta nsonga ya Principal D ya comrade yo wadde gwe bakwata kati naku 10 ne Sunday Monitor olwalero agambye nti emyaka 25 ejja fake opposition. Dr. Besigye bulijjo akulembera opposition ngeri fake bambi nga tamanyi. Kati ffe tujani sensi yonna egimanyi. Kankomaawo.
Principally,
So can I talk now?
yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. The previous speaker is still following on the propaganda headline, which brought a lot of controversy yesterday. That 25-something years of fake opposition, but that was a fake Gondi headline. It was a Photoshop, I would say. It is different from what Daily Monitor had. And then secondly, I joined when there was a lot of quarreling. I have not understood why you people were quarreling. I joined when Muji Martin was quarreling of how some people are fake, some are spies. You know how he likes to say green snake in the green grass. I don't know what you people were quarreling. I don't want to enter there. But something interested me before I go to my point is that as I was the next speaker and I said I'm coming to talk about the vetting, Rukanga comes and throws a lot of rants. But at the end, she says, we want to remove Museveni. Let us focus on the revolution. I know here is for listening. I don't know whether you don't allow questions, that whatever you speak should just go like that. But I would leave for Rukanga 2 questions as I proceed. Number 1 is, what do you mean a revolution? When you're talking about a revolution, what do you want people to do? Because you say your end point.
Wait, please,
Yes.
just a moment. Lukanga, are you there? Because it's better you ask her when she's listening in. Lukanga, are you there?
It's okay, let me just, she doesn't listen.
Maybe she's
Okay.
not even there.
My point
Go
is,
on.
when you say that we are in the revolution, let us focus on the revolution. Because our main point is to remove Museveni. What is your understanding of that revolution? And then, what do you want people to do to remove Museveni? What is it exactly that you want people to do? Because you say that, tomorrow is vetting, let the leaders do what they will do. They decide what they will decide. For us, our main focus is Museveni. So what is it that you see people are not doing that you would want it to be done? That for you would consider as a revolution? Then, immediately, of course, she goes ahead and says, we don't want those educated, what. Then, immediately, Mugisha comes and explains the constitution thoroughly, and I'm like, wait, you cannot begin saying you don't want the educated, and still here you're having uneducated to explain for you the constitution. This guy here, Wikiliza, he amazed me last month when he went to his village and came back to tell me that if people didn't know that they are paying taxes. The villagers, he had to begin explaining to them that you're paying tax when you buy chibility, you're paying tax. You need those educated people. Even if some will have those controversial views, you need them. I want to go to my point of today. My point of today is we are starting vetting today. And the way some of you talk about it is like, you don't want it to happen. You don't want it to happen. And yet at the same time, you're pushing for a protest vote. Now you confuse us. You don't want the party to do the political part. And yet, you still talk about the protest vote. So you confuse us. Now, my point is, that's where my question is that if you don't want the party to do the politics, what exactly do you want the party to do? You give something that is practical, not fantasy. Not a wish, because we all wish to remove Museveni, but how do you want the party to do it? That's why you see it is not doing, because you're not interested in the party politics. So we are starting vetting. And the reason why I want to talk about this vetting is, in any way, if the voice notes reaches, maybe TikTok, those who are going to be vetted, it may be helpful for them. That in the party you get 40%, and this 40%, you are asked about your commitment with the party and your loyalty. But normally, that is what is generalized out. You're supposed to go to that party when you understand the NUP constitution. That is in simple. If you have not had a hand into the NUP constitution, then you're joking. Now that's why you see most of them go there and you would supposedly expect them to go through, but they fail to go through. Because most of the questions asked are in the NUP constitution. Because when you look at the value, the ideology, I think you've been hearing people on TV asking what is NUP's ideology. Those are things that are at the start of our constitution. The NUP ideology. And normally when we're asked, most people don't even know the ideology of NUP. But we'll be the ones out here so much feeling like we are NUP. And it is a simple question when asked what is the ideology of NUP. Now you can never know until you read the NUP constitution. Because it is among the first things that start. Those are for people who are going to be vetted. And then there are other things, of course, they ask you about the values, the what, all those are things that are in the constitution. Now there's a narrative that is being pushed, that NUP should do its primaries like the NRM. But now you're going to get tired when I tell you that I wrote an article today. I was writing an article and we had a 1 hour, I think over 20 minutes long WhatsApp call conference. Of course, there are people you know these ones are good thinkers. So and I normally do that a lot. So we had 1 hour and about 20 minutes discussion. Like, I do not want you to have your head locked. I need an open discussion. NRM has had their primaries and NUP is going for its primaries. What is your view about the two primaries? What is your open view? And why do you have that view? So in that discussion, for me, because I came to them when I had already an article that I've written. But normally, as I do, I don't just send these articles. I need other people's views. I need to hear what other people are thinking. Now, my article is, the title is The Politics of Exposure, Why Uganda's Party Primaries Are a Trap, Not a Triumph. And the heading is like that because in my observation, the people who are pushing that NUP should organize primaries like NRM are not normally NUP members. If you follow well, it is either NRM themselves or people who are being backed by NRM. They push that NUP should organize primaries because we say people power belongs to the people. But then may I tell you that from all the three methods of vetting that we know, because we have the secret ballot, we have the lining up of NRM, then we have the hybrid that NUP uses. Dr. Mongadi is around, he will tell you that in America, you don't line up to choose a candidate. Because what is democracy? The main purpose of democracy is to protect the voters. It is to protect the voters. Now, if under a system like Uganda, you see, people online have been arguing that NUP we can't mobilize for primaries because if the regime even doesn't allow us to do other activities, they will come and dismantle. And for me, my major point is if we are to mobilize for primaries where people line up or go for separate ballots, when we risk and do that, we are exposing our voters to the regime.